Well, school bus drivers in New York City have gone on strike over job security. The walkout has left children looking for alternative transportation options to get to school. The strike started on Wednesday morning, affecting some 152,000 students. It's reportedly the first school bus strike in New York City in more than 3 decades. More than 8,000 bus drivers and matrons have taken part in the walkout. The city wants to cut transportation costs and has decided to bid out contracts with private bus companies. Unions say drivers could lose their jobs once their contracts expire in June. Well, to discuss that a bit further, we're now joined by Mr. Allen Roland, who is an online columnist, who is joining us now via Skype from California. Mr. Roland, thanks a lot for joining us. Now, my question remains the same as it has in the past when it comes to such job losses. How will the U.S. economy ever recover if such services keep cutting jobs?
Well, what's happening here is this. You're missing the point. The point is this. It's unions. It's a continual fight against unions. It's the unions that are being affected. It's one particular union that's paying $35,000 per person, which is a very menial yearly wage, but they want to basically, that's a cost that they can't control. So the city basically is trying to shut down the union and hire their own people. It's like Major League Baseball hiring its own umpires, or National Football League doing exactly the same thing to save costs. So that's exactly what's happening in this economy. What's happening is that corporations are cutting and cities are cutting costs by basically trying to get away with unions who literally are protecting the workers, but they have set costs. So they want to do it cheaper, on the cheap. So this is basically another attack against unions.
Right, so you say this is an attack against unions, sir. Will this continue, as I would presume it will, and will it ever really end?
Well, of course it'll end sometime, but right now, get the big picture. It's about cities and corporations, put them all in the same category. They want to cut their costs. So basically what they're doing is, and they're trying to make a profit, or they're trying to get by. And so one thing they can do is they can get rid of unions, and so they can get people cheaper. That's exactly what's happening in New York. They want to hire inexperienced drivers. And that's exactly what the union is saying, is that you're putting your children at risk. This, right in the middle of winter, it couldn't be more mistimed. This is probably going to go on for a while. There'll be pressure on both sides, and it could probably get ugly.
Right, so as you're saying, unions have said that people will be putting their children at risk in the hands of these inexperienced drivers. Do you think that the American public understands what's really going on behind the scenes here, as in, this attack on unions?
Any educated person it's just somewhat conversant of what's going on, and particularly the big picture with unions, yes, they would understand this. But yes, I don't think that people are being fooled by this. It's been across the board attack against unions. It's been happening. Right now, 40% of the drivers in New York are not union. And so, but they have a couple of unions. This is one of them. It basically wants to make a stand, and the other one will probably be following next. So this is like the first shot across the bow.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now. That was Mr. Allen Roland, online columnist, speaking to us live from California. Mr. Roland, as always, we appreciate your insight.